Okay, right now I'm excited to tie up for you guys a fly that I've had a lot of success with lately. For the past 3 or 4 years, Kohler and I have been fishing a pattern that we now call the paycheck. Exciting news, it's been picked up by Rainey's for 2016. But it's a woven fly. Many of the techniques that are found on other videos apply to this. However, the materials, the color schemes are a few things that I think set it apart. So let's go ahead and get started. This is a size 10. I tied in a 10 and a 12. With a 10, what I do is I use a 1/8 tungsten bead bronze. I've got about 5 wraps of 20 thousandths lead. This is a Dairiki 135 scud hook. Okay. Now I'm going to use some tan uni thread, 6/0. Tan, it's not that important, mostly because it's going to be completely covered up by the time we're done. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start wrapping that lead, keeping it up tight. Take the thread on back to the bend of the hook. First material I'm going to tie in, I'm going to take a piece of 4X tippet. 3 to 4X is usually what I use on this fly. And I'm going to tie it on the far side of the hook. So pay attention to the side of the hook that we apply each of the materials. It will be important later on. I'm going to take that back. Okay, now for the body material, I'm going to use some embroidery floss. Now embroidery floss comes in strands of 6 when you buy it from the craft store. For the size 10, I only like to use 4. So I'm going to take 2 strands out and I leave 4 strands in. Now this is going to be the darker material on top. This is a tan color. I want the darker color to be on the near side of the hook, closest to me. Furthest from the camera, but closest to the person tying the fly. So we're going to take that and we're going to take it on back. Okay, now I use a pearlescent effect embroidery floss for the bottom side of this fly. It's a lighter material, but it has this particular one has a little bit of a pink hue to it. It's going to match the collar thread that we end up using later on. So I'm going to take only 3 strands of it, mostly because it's thicker, it's a little bit stiffer than the typical embroidery floss. And I'm going to tie that on the far side of the hook, the near side of the camera here. Okay, and I'm going to take that on back nice and easy. Okay, once we have those tied in, we're going to take this thread. This is why I like to use 6/0. And we're going to build just a slightly tapered body here, working back towards that hook. This is a grub style fly, so it's going to be a little bulky. That's fine. We're going to bring this up, just kind of tapering it forward. That's looking pretty good. And you'll probably notice that I'm not going real tight up against the bead. I want to leave a little bit of a gap up there. Okay, at this point we're going to take this tan thread, we're going to tie it off. A couple of half hitches. There we go. And just cut it all the way off. We're done with the tan thread at that point. Okay, now I'm going to take this fly. I'm going to flip it upside down here. I'm going to adjust the camera so it's a little easier for you guys to see. I'm going to pivot around to the front of this fly so that the fly is pointing at my chest. I'm going to take the light material in my left hand. I'm going to take the dark material in my right hand. I'm going to cross the light material over on the underside of the hook. Dark material will grab it and it will be tucked on the bottom side of the hook. Okay, so light and dark, and we're just going to alternate here. We want to keep these wraps tight together. Light and dark. Light and dark. Now try to pay attention so that you don't end up with too much of the light up on the side of the fly. You want to keep it on the underside, on the body, on the bottom of this fly. And we're going to go all the way up until we're right up behind the bead there. Okay, now at this point, flip it upside down. While securing the embroidery floss, I'm going to take some fluorescent pink 70 denier UTC thread, and I'm going to attach it while securing those materials and tie it off. There we go. Now I'm going to slide back to the side of the fly. Okay, now that I'm back behind the fly, I'm going to take and clip off the ends of the embroidery floss now that I've got my thread back attached. Okay, now here I'm going to take this fluorescent pink thread, do a half hitch. I'm going to take my ribbing material and I'm going to make a rib that wraps in between each one of those segments that we created while weaving this fly. This is going to strengthen the fly and it's going to help it where that material doesn't unravel and come apart on us. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and tie off that mono. Okay, and this fly is almost done. You're going to take some spiky squirrel, SLF dubbing, and we're going to create a collar. So just go ahead and apply that to the thread. And we're going to cover up most of that pink thread. Oops, looks like I need just a hair more. Titch more dubbing there. It's looking pretty good. One more application there. Okay, now I'm going to take this fluorescent pink thread and I'm going to build up just a little bit of a hot spot right behind that bead. Okay, now I'm going to take and just whip finish it. And that's practically it. Now, I really like the way the underside with the pearlescent effect interacts with the pink collar. I also really like the way the spiky squirrel gives some character to this fly. Now, this embroidery floss, it darkens up a lot when wet. So this top body section is going to darken up quite a bit, while the bottom, the pearlescent doesn't suck in as much water and it stays really light. So there's the tan and pink variation. The other two color variations that I prefer to fish this fly in are an olive with an orange pearlescent underbody and an orange collar, and also a rusty brown variation with a yellow underbody and a yellow collar. So those three different color variations are the three different grub woven patterns that I fish. I've done very well all over the place with them. Okay, and also if you guys like the videos on this channel, make sure to subscribe. Something that we're developing a different platform that's going to incorporate a video every week, fly tying videos, also guide tip videos. So we'll be talking more about that in the future, but things to help us all become better anglers, and also at least once a month, kind of the action adventure fly fishing videos. So remember to like, subscribe, and share. All right, I appreciate it. Thanks.